Going through life defined by past experiences, comments from others, and mistakes can be common. People may label us as average, inadequate, unappealing, uncertain, or broken. These negative perceptions prevent us from reaching our full potential as created by God. Our self-image affects our level of success. It's possible to never fully understand our true identity. God knew you before you were even born. You were planned and created with a purpose. You were born through your mother, but it was God who gave you life. You are no ordinary creation. Instead, you are a work of art to God. God has bestowed greatness upon you. He speaks to us, saying, "From the moment I made you, I filled you with my spirit. I crafted you to be like me. I gave you my essence. You are of noble birth. I have blessed you with my kindness." He regards you as his most cherished creation. You have incredible potential that remains undiscovered. What are you telling yourself? You have a negative view of yourself, believing that you are average, not particularly gifted, or not very likable. That warped image will prevent you from reaching your full potential. Don't minimize who you are. Don't let others or failures sway you into thinking that you are powerless, inadequate, or unworthy. Dismiss all of the negative opinions and align with God's perspective. Revert back to how God sees you. Take off the detrimental labels and replace them with positive ones like fearfully and wonderfully made. Masterpiece, one of a kind, strong, gifted, capable, and victorious. You are capable of greatness. You have talent, knowledge, and ingenuity. God has destined you to accomplish something remarkable. Will you accept this as truth? The Apostle Paul writes, "The entire creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time." Paul is basically expressing, heaven is waiting for you to recognize your true identity. Everyone is on tiptoe, thinking maybe today they will understand that they are a work of art, the king's son or daughter. Maybe today they will grasp that they are of royal blood. Do you want to give heaven something that will make them rejoice? Make today a turning point in your life. See yourself the way God does and take action to become your true self. Have you ever seen how a negative thought can turn into a negative attitude if you're not taking care of your mind? For example, let's say that your spouse has an action which you don't like. Initially, it might not be a problem, but as you think more about it, it starts to annoy you. You're getting dressed. In your head, you may be thinking, "He knows it upsets me." When you're eating lunch, your thoughts may be, "He doesn't care, it irritates me." And then the same thing happens again, and your attitude towards him gets worse. You start to think he'll never change. At this point, you're feeling irritated and starting to have a critical outlook on him. It's not just this one thing he does, it's him. That first bothersome thought has been absorbed by your heart and has become a critical attitude that can develop and persist. You start to look at every action he takes through this harsh lens, which can harm your relationship. Proverbs states, "As one thinks in their heart, so shall they be." This tells us that our lives will go the way of our most prominent thoughts, which is why it also warns us to, above all else, protect your heart, since everything you do derives from it. It doesn't say certain things come from your heart. It states everything. You permit negative thoughts to remain in your head, such as an insult or a concern or a dread. They will sink into your heart and create a bad outlook. Life can be tough enough without being hindered by your own adverse ideas and attitudes. A lot of the troubles that come up against you can be too much for you if you have pessimistic mindsets and the wrong outlook. To become what God desires for you to be, you need to take authority over the thoughts playing in your head and dictating your heart. God has provided you with His Word and the power to think His thoughts and to form your life around His thoughts. That's the answer. You can't manage what anybody else says, does, or thinks. And you can't control everything that occurs to you. Yet you can control what you think. You can regulate your attitudes. You can determine the perspectives you use by permitting God to use the strength of His Word to reestablish your mind, to convert your thinking, and to shield your heart attitudes. And it can begin now. So let me motivate you today. If your life is not headed the way you desire, direct your thoughts in the desired direction. The transformation will happen when you make the decision to have positive thoughts that are in sync with God's Word.